Welcome to the Daily Coffee Pro by Map It Forward, friends. Today on the podcast, I'd like to start by wishing you a happy International Women's Day. What an interesting time it's been since the last International Women's Day, whereby there wasn't a pandemic bubbling over. Well, not one that we had been officially declared as a pandemic. We were just days away from it. It was something that we were starting to get an idea was coming, but it hadn't been officially declared yet. And the year since then has been incredibly intense for all of us. So today on the podcast, I want to approach International Women's Day a little differently than how we have in the past. And today, I want to talk about that little feeling that you get. We all know that feeling. And often as women, and perhaps as men, but more so as women, we are told to ignore that little feeling that we get that is actually our gut. It's a feeling we get when we don't feel safe, or we feel that there's something wrong, or we feel that something's not quite right. And we're often told one version of stop being dramatic, stop being emotional, don't overthink it, it's not a big deal, etc., etc. And today, on International Women's Day, I want to tell you it is something that you should pay attention to. It is something that you should be thinking about. It is something you should be listening to. Why? Why am I telling you this? Well, because that little voice, that little feeling, that little knot in your stomach that gets activated, that's that thing that tells you that you are perhaps in danger. It tells you that perhaps something's not right here. And when anybody is telling you that you should not be listening to that, that is somebody that is encouraging you to betray your natural instincts. Now, some of you might say that just by talking about this, I'm being dramatic. I don't care. I want to encourage people to start trusting themselves again. I want people to start discerning what situations are safe and what situations they are overthinking. But you can't get to that feeling and that thought process until you acknowledge that something in me is telling me that perhaps I need to question what's going on right now. Because if you're feeling unsafe, if you're feeling that a situation is a little bit off, then it is. It is for you. And it is your responsibility to get yourself out of that situation. You don't have to be rude about it. You don't have to be dramatic about it. You don't have to be loud about it. But what you do have to do is take responsibility for getting yourself safe. Now, at the first instinct that you feel that you are perhaps getting a little indication from your gut that's telling you something's not right here, don't ignore it. Far too often as women, we are told to ignore it. And far too often as women, we hear ourselves say, I wish I had have listened to my gut. So I would like to encourage you that whatever situation that you're in, if that little feeling that you're getting is telling you to think a little bit harder here, or to feel a little bit more and listen to what's going on, or perhaps you're not quite as safe as you would like to be, pay attention. Because that is the greatest gift you can give to yourself in a time where things are just crazy intense and continue to be crazy intense, and we don't know when this is going to end. So on this International Women's Day, I want to thank you for all that you do for yourself if you're a woman, and for women if you are not a woman. Not a woman? If you are not a woman and you support women, I want to thank you for what you're doing to support women, because it's crazy important that we elevate everybody. And for far too long in history, women have been told that they are less than. And I am privileged to live in a time that is just one generation away from my mother, who lived in a very, very different ideology than I did. She lived in a time where in order for her to have a bank account, her husband, my father, had to sign for it. She couldn't open her own business. She needed to have his permission to do a lot of things. I don't have to. And it's because of that I have the luxury of being able to listen to my gut and taking action on that. So if you are supportive of women, or you are a woman who is just taking life by the horns and just running for it and making everything that you can of your life, I salute you, I congratulate you, and I thank you. Peace, love, and peanut butter, friends. Have an amazing rest of your day.